We all want the authorities to get the bad guys off the streets. But what happens when one of us is caught in the middle? Here are some real stories of innocent bystanders caught in the chaos. The sound of gunfire rang out on Times Square on May 9, 2021. Moments later, Sonia Martinez looked down to find her 4-year-old daughter Sky with a bullet lodged in her foot. A policewoman on the scene, Alyssa Vogel, rushed her to a waiting ambulance which took her to the hospital. The gunfire originated from two brothers involved in a disagreement, standing in the heart of Times Square at 44th Street and 7th Avenue. Little Sky Martinez and her mom were shopping in one of the stores along the street when the disagreement escalated, and one of the men took out a gun. He fired at the other man and missed, but hit 3 innocent bystanders, including Sky, as one witness reported. I heard about 4 or 5. Then a few minutes later, I saw them pick up the girl. She looked like she got in the leg. 2 women were also struck in the lower extremities. All 3 people affected will make full recoveries.
Sky was toy shopping with her parents when she was in the foot.
The men responsible for the chaos fled before police could apprehend them. One was caught on a surveillance camera, however, which led police to him in Florida. Farrakhan Muhammad is charged with the incident. He was allowed time in Florida to consult with an attorney about fighting his extradition. After discharging his firearm in Times Square, he went back to a hotel with his girlfriend and changed his appearance before heading south to Florida. Police traced his steps starting with the surveillance video and were able to catch up to him at a McDonald's in Florida. He claims that he wasn't in New York at the time of the incident. The week after the horrifying incident, Sky got a sweet surprise from the NYPD. They teamed up with the organization Smiles Through Cars and threw a party that included a parade of cars, Minnie Mouse, and gifts for Sky Martinez. Brittany Howard received severe damage to her face after her father's gun went off in her face. When she left her twin 2-year-old girls and 4-year-old daughter that day, she never thought there would be a chance that she wouldn't return. Brittany's mom called to tell her that her father was acting unusual. When Brittany arrived at her parents' home, she found her father with a gun. He intended to take his own life. Brittany grabbed for the gun, and somewhere during the tug of war, it went off. We both jerked, and somehow it went off. Brittany had several surgeries with more to come, a skin graft on her nose, and a metal plate in her head. The bullet went 3 centimeters into her frontal lobe. She forgives her father and says it was an accident. The police, however, weren't so forgiving. Brittany's father received several charges associated with firearms and a short term behind bars.
Brittany Howard spent days in the ICU here in Webster, but she says that accidental may have saved her father's life.
Brittany believes her father is a changed man since the incident and has a new lease on life, saying, "Sometimes it takes a tragic occurrence to change someone's outlook on life." Gudelia Valninas lost her life in the Woodside Houses apartment complex after being caught in the crossfire of 2 rival gangs. The incident occurred in March 2021 at the intersection of Broadway and 48th Street in New York City. At approximately 8:15 p.m., police received a call from the public housing complex about 2 groups of teenagers firing at each other as they ran through the complex.
As armed young men took aim at each other on the streets of Astoria,
the chaos carried out into the street where Gudelia met her tragic end. She lived nearby on 48th Street and was on her way home from Walgreens when she was caught in the crossfire. Gudelia was a wife and mother of 2. Only steps from her home when she was caught in the rain of bullets. She collapsed on the street and was taken to an area hospital where she passed away. Police have no leads so far. The investigation is still underway. Police are investigating area surveillance camera footage showing a man looping through alleyways on 47th Street on foot. Another camera showed a car driving the wrong way on a one-way street, and police believe it may be the getaway car. Some neighbors blame the incident, on a controversial bail reform bill that passed in New York in 2020. Over 250 offenders were released who continue to reoffend and re-enter the corrections system. Police put up posters throughout the neighborhood urging anyone with information to come forward. Richard Cutshaw sat in his vehicle at an intersection in Coral Gables, Florida in 2019 when a wild shootout started between police and armed hijackers. He was only a few miles from home when a stray bullet ended his life. The situation began when two armed male cousins entered a jewelry store. They fired their guns at the clerk as they raced off. Police arrived at the scene and started a full-scale search for the two men. According to George Pyro, special agent in charge of the Miami field office for the FBI, as the suspects fled the area, they hijacked a UPS truck and the driver. A high-speed chase ensued for over 30 miles on a busy street at rush hour, much of which was caught on witness cell phone video and surveillance video. As the armed men, Lamar Alexander and Ronnie Jerome Hill, approached the intersection, they stopped among the traffic and opened fire on police. Police returned fire. Everyone on the street was caught in the melee. Richard Cutshaw, who was close to retirement, lost his life. So did the UPS truck driver, who was held hostage inside the truck, Frank Ordonez. Ordonez was on his way to work when Alexander and Hill jumped his truck. He leaves behind a wife and two little girls. The police union reported that at least 18 officers from the department opened fire during the pursuit, but Alexander and Hill started firing first, both of whom lost their lives in the shootout. Some witness statements negate that claim. Attorneys representing the Cutshaw and Ordonez families say police are withholding ballistic information that could show who was responsible for the demise of their loved ones in the shootout. A witness in an adjacent vehicle during the chase, Carlos Lara, says police fired the first of what is estimated to be nearly 200 bullets during the shootout on a busy road. The FBI is still investigating this incident. Can hurting innocent bystanders be helped? Should police open fire in a crowded place? What do you think? Have you ever been caught in this kind of situation? Let us know in the comments section. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you want more awesome news content.